In this video, I want to talk about why not advertising your retail store in Spanish is making you lose millions of dollars in sales. Now, I tell you this because I run the marketing for 100 plus retail stores across the USA, and by just advertising in Spanish, a market that many of your competitors are not realizing, or you're leaving huge money on the table because no one's marketing to this Hispanic community, and the Hispanic community has huge buying power, right? Let's just step back for a second. Let's just think about this from a bird's eye view. Okay, most of you guys are marketing in English, right? We're in the USA, we got to be marketing in English, right? But the problem is your ideal avatar, your ideal customer is being bombarded with the same English as every single day. So competing in English is an uphill battle. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible to close people in English, right? It's doable. That's how you build your business. But it is an uphill battle, right? Your competitors offer the exact same things you do. That's the issue. The same products, the same prices, same financing options, same customer service, right? And they're advertising to the same people you are, right? It's an uphill battle. While you're competing with 50 to 100 other businesses just like yours, trying to reach a part of the market share which has been already saturated with products just like yours. But here's the truth nobody is talking about. It might be the case in English, but that isn't the case in Spanish. The Spanish-speaking market is still a pocket of people who haven't been hit with the same level of advertising, the same level of marketing. It's an untapped market. And most of your competitors don't even realize it exists. Now, I tell you this from experience, right? I work with 100 plus retail stores, helping add tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars in extra monthly sales. Here are a couple of different clients I work with. Car part stores, advertising in Spanish. Furniture stores, advertising in Spanish. Jewelry stores, advertising in Spanish. Appliance stores, advertising in Spanish, right? I run this advertising for dozens and dozens of different retail stores, right? It doesn't matter what type of high-ticket retail store you have. Advertising in Spanish will only help you. And I've done this for many different locations. Right? I have dozens and dozens of different case studies on my YouTube channel. Right? I have a client from New York City, invested $3,000 in ad spend and got $60,000 in sales by tapping into the Spanish-speaking market. Another client from Washington, D.C., invested $90,000 in ad spend, got over $100,000 in sales by tapping into the Spanish-speaking market. I can go on and on the benefits of targeting the Spanish-speaking market. Look at these numbers. Now imagine the same logic to your business. Obviously, there's factors that dictate how many sales you actually make, such as how many Latinos, Hispanic speakers, Hispanics are in your market, to how good of a sales team you have in place. But you cannot deny the fact. You cannot deny the fact it's not as saturated as the English market. You cannot deny the fact there's a huge opportunity here that you haven't tapped into. And many of your competitors are still sleeping on this, where you can come in and dominate this market before it gets too saturated, right? There's facts you can't ignore. There's over 40 million Latinos in the United States of America. That's what the U.S. Census says. And realistically, even more, because the U.S. Census does not count the huge percentage of people that are undocumented, right? That figure is probably like, I would joke around with my clients, right? The U.S. Census is 40 million, but like, if we're being honest here, the majority of Latinos in the States don't have papers. That figure can probably be even higher than the population of Americans in the States. And this is the part store owners overlook, right? Even without papers, many Spanish speakers, clients can still finance the products. They don't need to have papers. As long as they have an IT number, right? And obviously they have cash, money to spend, right? This will make them one of the most viable, profitable audiences for retail businesses. Like the thing I recommend you check out is check the demographics of your city. Go to Google and look up the Hispanic population in your area. Right? Even if your city only says 10% Hispanic, that's still a massive opportunity that nobody's reaching in your community, between your competitors. Right? Like, let's do this for a second. Many of you don't realize how many Latinos actually live in the States. For example, let's start with, let's say LA. LA is a typical, Los Angeles Latino population. Okay, boom, 46%. That's half of the market. If you're in the LA greater area, you're not doing anything Spanish-wise, you're reaching half of your market. Just by tapping into like advertising, marketing in Spanish, you're doubling your audience size, doubling your sales with that much more effort. Let's do Chicago. Boom. 30%. 30%. Let's do New York City. 28%. 2.5 million people. Let's do. I'm original from Des Moines, so my original hometown is Des Moines. Well, let's see how much that is. Maybe it's not a lot. 34 to 40,000 people. Right? Maybe it's not huge, but what is it? 16%. 16% of the market. It's not like huge. It's not huge, but that's 16% of a market you're not reaching if you're from Des Moines, Iowa. If you are, let me know because that's my hometown. I would like to help people from my hometown. That's still 30 to 40,000 people that have buying power, that can purchase. And by you running an ad in their language, you're tapping into them. You could dominate the market because nobody's reaching out to these people, right? They might see the ad in English, right? But it doesn't hit them the same way as if it was in their language, a native language, right? It doesn't matter where in the USA there's always Hispanic people, Latinos. The economics of the Spanish market. Look, even if you're a Spanish-speaking population, it isn't huge. The lack of competition makes up for it. Right? In the English market, you might be competing with 50 stores. In the Spanish market, you might be competing with no one. Or maybe max 1 or 2 stores because people don't know how to tap into this market or don't even realize the opportunity there. Right? While the English market is difficult to make a dent in because it's already been so saturated with the marketing with different retail stores, different businesses doing it in English because obviously we're in America. Spanish is a market you can dominate instantly because nobody's reaching them or few people are only reaching them. Remember, wherever number Google gives you, add another 20%, right? Because the real number this doesn't account for undocumented people. It doesn't really know how to even this only counts for people that are in the U.S. Census that actually register themselves. Like a lot of people that don't have papers. They're not obviously stupid enough to register. They're going to get deported, right? Especially with the Trump era. So, whatever number Google gives you, add another 20%. Because the real number is always higher because this doesn't take into consideration people that don't have documents or undocumented people, right? The stats don't lie. Right? Why? Not only on how it's a market that many people haven't taken advantage of, your competitors haven't taken advantage of, you haven't taken advantage of. I also have internal stats. After working with 100 plus retail stores, I realized that it's two to three times cheaper to acquire Spanish-speaking client than English-speaking client due to lack of competitors, due to a lack of people reaching out to these people. And it can be much higher in different areas, depending on how many people are actually advertising in Spanish. This could be potentially 10x cheaper, 10x easier. I want to say cheaper and easier. It's both easier because it's not as much competitors, right? Let's say you run an ad in English. Just to give you some context, let's say you run an ad in English. Let's say you own a furniture store. This applies to anybody, furniture store, jewelry store, appliance store, whatever. Let's say you're running a promotion for a couch, okay? You're going to be running that promotion, let's say in your local city, okay, 10, 15 mile radius. Let's say you're in Miami, for example. Miami, it doesn't matter what city it is, Miami, okay? That ad that you're running in English, well, guess what? Your competitors are running similar ad because furniture is not too different, all right? So your ideal prospect has seen 100 different variations of that ad in English because it's pretty much the same for them. What does your prospect do? Well, they're based on price alone now because he basically pretty much sees that everybody is doing the same type of marketing, same type of financing. They bet on price alone. It just becomes a price war, okay? Now let's change the dynamic. Let's say we run an ad in Spanish, okay? Since we're running the ad in Spanish, the same type of ad, same offer. But because these people haven't reached out to as much as in English, right? You just dominate instantly because they haven't been burnt out with so many different advertising, marketing, furniture, promotions, right? Maybe in English, but it doesn't hit them as well as Spanish. You're talking to them heart on heart. It's like before doing marketing, I actually studied politics in college, and there is a very famous quote that hit me. Right, and I always tell my clients about this too when it comes to marketing and people's languages. Is if you speak to somebody in a language they understand, it goes to their head. Right, a lot of immigrants that come to the USA, they obviously have to learn English because we're in America. But if you speak to them in their language, it goes to their heart. All right, it's way more effective to target these people in their native language. Right, you bypass all the competitors because you're not talking to human to human. They're like, oh my God, he's reaching me, human to human. I want to buy with them. Right, so the stats do not lie. Don't speak Spanish. It's not an issue, right? You have a couple different options that we can obviously do in this type of scenario. Number one is you can hire a Spanish-speaking sales rep, right? You can just run a local ad, right? And you'll find one instantly for a commission basis, right? If you have a retail store, you have enough traffic, right? You can get one on just a commission basis or maybe pay them a small base pay plus commission. That's typically how the retail business model works, right? One rep alone justifies the entire investment. Imagine, let's just for the sake of this, right? Let's just talk about small markets, right? You don't even I don't even want to get started with the huge markets like Texas, California, Florida, where there's a massive Spanish-speaking population. Let's just focus small markets, right? Des Moines, Iowa, middle of nowhere, it's the Midwest, right? There's 30 to 40,000 people, right? If we take into consideration undocumented, let's say that being pessimistic, 50,000. That's a market that nobody's reaching, right? Because we're in the Midwest. Nobody even freaking thinks about running something in Spanish, right? It's what the fuck? It's something excuse my language, but something people don't really think about, right? We're in the Midwest, English, obviously, right? But just tap it into the Spanish market. As long as you have one person that speaks Spanish, that's 34 to 40. Let's say that you're only able to close, let's say out of like, let's say 50,000 people, okay? 50,000 people, let's say that people that are over, let's say 25 years old, because you don't want, like for example, you sell furniture, jewelry, appliances, or like any high ticket retail store, your ideal demographic isn't still living with their parents typically, right? They have their own place, they can afford obviously these type of things with financing or cash, whatever, right? Over 25. Maybe let's say that cuts it down to like, I don't know, like 20,000, right? Maybe let's just be pessimistic, 20,000, right? Okay, that's still 20,000 people. 20,000 people, right? And if you've been more pessimistic, let's only, I don't know, 5-10% of that even buys from you. That's still tens of thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of extra dollars, right, you could be making. It's easily justifiable getting a Spanish-speaking sales rep. And the reason why you obviously want to hire a Spanish-speaking sales rep is, like, for example, if I'm a Latino, I see the ad, and when I go into a store, if I see one of my people in the store, like there's instant trust, instant authority. Like, oh my God, that's one of my people. It's easier to close, right? Because like culture, you understand it better. Obviously the language barrier too, like, it makes it a little easier. Obviously closing these type of people in their native language. So there's a couple of reasons why you would hire a Spanish speaking sub, and it's easily justifiable, as we just did the numbers right now quickly. And that's just being pessimistic, right? You can probably make millions of dollars, right? Millions of dollars in the long run. Now, let's say you don't want to hire a Spanish-speaking sales rep. Let's say the market's not even that big. Let's say let's go to like what would I think? Let's say Montana. I feel like Montana probably has like the lowest Spanish-speaking population. 3%. Even at 3%, it's 30%. Like let's go to Alaska. Let's go to Alaska. Well, there's a lot of Hispanics actually. So, like, even in the most rural of rural places, there's still tens of thousands of Hispanic people. Let's go Hawaii. Let's say you're in Hawaii. What the hell? Yeah, I'm surprised. I didn't think they. Okay, so this is a market that's even bigger than I even thought. Hawaii's 10% of the market's Hispanic. That is crazy. I gotta go to Hawaii then check this place out. Okay. So like, the lowest potential. Markets have tens of thousands of Hispanic. Like, there is always a way to justify hiring a Spanish-speaking sales rep. Like, as you just seen, like, we gone to the most rural places where I didn't think there was Hispanics. Well, let me check more place actually. Let's go to Maine. Maine's like super high up. Okay, 30%, 30,000. That's probably the smallest amount, right? Even at 30,000, that's still enough to justify a Spanish-speaking sales rep, right? Because it compounds with more people referring you and stuff of that nature. But still, even at the lowest numbers, there's still tens of thousands of Hispanics, right, that you can be tapping into, right? But let's say that you don't want to end up hiring a Spanish-speaking sales rep. Maybe you want to like test the waters, right? You want to test the waters. Maybe you're a very conservative. You're not a big like risk taker, decision taker. It's like, you know what? I want to take a little slow, right? You can always do real-time tools to talk to these people. I have a lot of Indian clients. Like, they have no business doing like business in Spanish, right? Because they speak no Spanish. But guess what? 80-90% of their market's Hispanic. Why? Because they use Google Translate, ChatGPT. Like, people overcomplicate. You don't need to speak the actual language. It closes people. Like, when they go to the store, ChatGPT, Google Translate. Where's my AirPods at? Shoot. So there's a lot of if you're familiar with the AirPods, they have instantaneous interpretation. So you put one earbud in, they put another earbud in their end, and like you speak in English, they speak in Spanish, it simultaneously interprets. There's a lot of earbuds like that now in the market. So language barriers is a thing of the past. Whether it's ChatGPT, Google Translate, like software to help you interpret, or the earbuds, like there's many methods to close these people, whether it's from in-store visits to like messages, right? Messages is even easier, right? Or simply learn the basics of the language or speak the language. Like, people think it's the basics, but the language. People overcomplicate. Like, think Spanish is difficult. It's like, for English speaker, there's a couple different tiers. There's like tier 1 languages, tier 2 languages, like for example, let me show you. I am American and I want to learn another language. What's the easiest language? So there's something called, let's see right here. Show me the tiers. So there's tier 1. Oh, there's language difficulty ranking. Let's see if it's this. All right, this is what I wanted to show you guys. So language closest related to English. So there's different tiers in the world where an English speaker, whether they find it easy or hard on learning language depends on like the tier it's in, right? How close it is to English. So obviously, the closer it is to English, the easier it is to learn, right? The farther it is to English, the harder it is to learn. Like there's 5 different categories. There's category 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, right? Category 1 languages, it takes you like 20, 30, 24 weeks to like master a language. It's super simple. Like language is closely related to English. As you can see right here, Spanish is one of them, right? If you go up here to category 5, 88 weeks, these are like the hardest language because they're so different, right? And then don't give me an excuse, oh my God, it's so difficult, I don't got time, blah, blah, blah. I'm a hyper polyglot. Many of you guys don't know this, right? You know me as the guy that does the marketing for dozens and dozens of different retail stores, like the genius marketer, right? But many of you guys don't know that I'm a hyper polyglot. When I'm bored, I learn languages. Like, obviamente hablo español, es mi lengua nativa. Eu também falo português. A língua portuguesa é muito parecido com o espanhol. Anche io parlo italiano. L'italiano è molto simile con l'espagnolo. Je parle français parce que j'habitais un temps à Paris. I also speak level 5 languages. 我念前我在香港住了1年，这是为什么我会说中文。我觉得中文很容易。Like I speak a lot of languages. Like I'm not telling you like, oh, learn a language. It's like I tell you this from like experience. It's not difficult. People are like overcomplicated. Like if you would use the same pressure of wanting to make your business succeed to actually wanting to learn a language, you would succeed, right? But because like learning a language isn't as an immediate need as paying the rent, well, you put more emphasis on growing the business. Like learning a language, if you really think about it, it's the hardest ROI activity you can do in your pastime, right? So learning a language is not complicated, right? And I tell you from experience, right? I'm not just being bossy. I speak a lot of languages. It's not too complex. And Spanish is like a level 1 language. It doesn't take a long time. Very simple. If you want some advice, if you're single, get a Latina girlfriend. If you're married, change your whole life into that language. So, for example, there was a period of time where I really wanted to learn Mandarin Chinese. What I did is I changed my computer to Mandarin Chinese, my phone to Chinese, everything was Chinese. Movies in Chinese, I'm like, it was so difficult for like many months, but because I kept seeing it, because I was pressured to learn language because my whole life revolved around Chinese, I had to learn it. Likewise, like if you revolve your whole life around Spanish, like you're gonna learn it quickly. So, all right, I don't want to get you carried away. A couple different methods. Like obviously the easiest method is number 2, ChatGPT, Google Translate. There's nothing wrong with that. You can still close. Then the next level is like obviously hiring a Spanish-speaking sales rep. And like the last tier, like boss tier, is learn the language. Like there's a lot of like something I really respect of a lot of the Arab people I talk to. Like they speak Spanish fluently. Like they speak 4 or 5 different languages. That's the reason why a lot of Arab store owners are killing it because they're really to put in the work. Yeah, I just want to give you that. So how to target the Spanish market. How much charge do I have? All right, we have some charge. Okay, cool. How to target the Spanish-speaking market. It's actually very simple. Everything is in Spanish, right? Your creatives, your copy, your segmentation, everything, right? And this way you don't mix English and Spanish together, right? Make Spanish its like own funnel. Like for example, let's look at this. The videos in Spanish. Si buscas calidad y nitidez, I'm not sure if you're able to hear, but the videos in Spanish, the copies in Spanish, the CTAs in Spanish, right? Everything is in Spanish, right? Like for example, here again, Spanish, everything's in Spanish, right? So now let's say you don't speak Spanish. There's a multitude of ways you can like obviously navigate this. Obviously the hardest method is doing a video in Spanish, speaking in Spanish. But if you don't have the personnel that speaks Spanish, there's a couple of things you can do. Graphics, right? You can do graphics in Spanish. ChatGPT, make the graphic in Spanish, copy in Spanish, everything in Spanish, right? That's why you're doing the stuff in Spanish. You can do AI voiceover videos. I'm not sure if you're able to hear.
Si buscas joyas elegantes y personalizadas al mejor precio, tienes que conocer Kissimmee Jewelers.
Okay, I'm not sure if you're able to hear, but this is the AI voiceover software that I use. Let me show you right here on the AI voiceover software. All right, so that's like a software that's able to translate. Like you just put the prompt in English, like whatever you want to say in English, and it makes the audio for you in Spanish. It's pretty cool, or whatever language you want. So there's a couple different methods, right? But yeah, logically speaking, just make everything in Spanish. It's not too complex. The best call to action. And people ask me, like, well, okay, cool. I do everything in Spanish. It makes sense. Okay, what's the best call to action? WhatsApp, right? Americans might not use it, right? But Latinos use WhatsApp every single day to talk to their family and close friends. That's why it works so well. It's a perfect medium to target Hispanics. You might ask, well, like, how to use WhatsApp? Very simple. Let me quickly show right here. So this is one of my clients' Facebook ads. So you can see right here we connected WhatsApp. It has to be a business WhatsApp, FYI, business WhatsApp, in order to be able to run ads directly to. So message destination, just WhatsApp. I connect it, business WhatsApp, run the messages there, right? And this is kind of how the message would look like. You obviously make an automated prompt, so it's just very easy for them to click and send message. But yeah, it's WhatsApp. It's very simple, very cookie cutter. The reason why it works so well with WhatsApp is because people always open their message because they're always on WhatsApp, right? Numbers are always, no, almost always. They're always real because in order to use WhatsApp, it has to be connected to a phone. So they must connect a real number to you. So it's real. It's not like spam. With the lead form, sometimes people like, oh, you got to opt into this form. People can make a BS number, right? So with WhatsApp, you can be sure it's real. Response rates are dramatically higher because people are always on their WhatsApp, right? With like a lead form, like you obviously contact the lead, call them, like, well, this number is weird. Like, where's it coming from? Like, they don't answer it, or you send them a text. Nobody answers text anymore. But if it's WhatsApp, they everybody see your little profile picture. They know, okay, cool, right? It's a legit person. And this way, you're not chasing fake leads or destinating the numbers. Compared to like Facebook Messenger has too much spam. Lead form is obviously wrong numbers, slow responses, like low intent. WhatsApp is keen in the Latino market. It's also keen. I give you some sauce here. It's keen for the immigrant market. So, if you ever want to take advantage and take this to the next level, we can run ads in Arabic, French, Portuguese, anything with immigrants. WhatsApp. But yeah, I don't want to get too carried away, right? So this is how you can target. Before I continue, this is kind of how it looks like, right? You would get messages like this: "Hey, I saw the ad of the guy I want to buy. In this case, I want to buy an appliance piece." Obviously, you respond. They respond back. I'm looking for this, and that. You send them whatever back and forth. You can call, you can text, whatever. It's a good thing with WhatsApp, right? It's very intimate. You have the name as well, so it's pretty cool. So, but anyhow, if you need help setting this all up, I know I gave you a whole bunch of information, right? Why you should run ads in Spanish, why you got to tap into this market, why you're losing a lot of money, millions of dollars not taking advantage of this market. But maybe you want somebody to actually do this for you. Click on the link in the description, right, of this YouTube video, or message me on Instagram. I see Instagram and say that you came from YouTube or something. Click on the link of this video or message me on Instagram, and we'll show you how we helped 100 plus retail stores tap into the Spanish speaking market, double their sales by going bilingual, like the right way, right? I already gave you the sauce on how it all works, but if you need somebody to actually guide you one-on-one, or maybe run this for you, you know where to find me. Hopefully this video was helpful, but yeah, until next time, take care.